created it. I have a dream that one...
Hi cuties, how are you? So today, another day for another dream interpretation. And for me actually, sorry I was not regularly posting anymore because I'm at holiday now in Egypt, and for a while now I've been here, but still I'm determined to keep posting even while I'm on my holiday, so be thankful. So again, I'm having the most outrageous dream while being here, and every dream I thought like it was so worthy of making a video about it. I'm like the dreaming person, very dreamy, very dreamy. So I'll start talking about one of the really very rare dreams. It's not so common, but actually there are people who dreamt of it, which is being eaten alive. That's a certain dream that you better pay attention to it, because it's conveying a certain message to you, conveying a certain advice from your subconscious, and that you probably need to pay certain attention to it. For example, dreams represent for us however we see life. So each time you see a certain dream, whatever things in the dream represent to you, it represents sometimes on a personal level. So I saw a relative in my dream, but a relative that it's like hateful and evil, but I didn't recognize them. In this stage, that means that it's not really a relative that I'm worried about. It's a certain aspect of my personality that reminds me of relatives. The word relative, what does it mean to me? For me, I've never been close to any of my relatives, so you can feel that I equalized the word relative with bad things, like people who are insincere, people who are certainly scheming, people who are not trustworthy. So if I saw a relative in my dream and it's like I'm trying to be careful of them, and but I didn't recognize them, it's just your brain is using a metaphor or a synonym for the word relative. And you need to see some aspects within yourself. Usually when you don't identify the person in your dream or the thing that it's attacking you, it's usually representing a part of yourself. So the dream of being eaten alive, what I can call is a complicated dream. It's combinations. In all my other video, I discussed only one aspect, like usually the sea. What does seeing the sea means in your dream, or water. But with being eaten alive, it's a certain elements, several ones. So usually when you dream such a dream, you just put two categories. Either the dream is just your mind actually testing things, like doing alarm test. Yes, our subconscious does that. You know, it plays things that sometimes doesn't mean much, or you are either on medication or whatever and on good stuff. But in other cases, you are actually interpreting your subconscious and interpreting things that are happening in your waking life, and things you need actually to confront, because your subconscious is actually it's disturbing the peace of your subconscious and what's making you psychologically healthy. Again, dreams are really important to stay psychologically healthy, and if you keep a close eye on them. The other category where you can put the dream in, it's like your mind most of the time is dealing with stressors, and your subconscious is sending you secret codes that you need to pay attention to. So being dreaming about eating alive have several aspects. It's who is eating you, what happened to you when you got eaten. Was there pain? That's really important. It's really rare that people feel pain or smell in their dreams, but it does happen, and it's usually I dreamt of both, and it's usually very intense dreams, and it needs a certain state of mind to go through them, and usually they are really serious things if you felt like excruciating pain like the one I felt in the dream. So the creature or the person that is eating you is really as well important. I don't know, I hope it's not your mother-in-law, but the person or the creature that it's eating you symbolize something. So if you saw whomever or whatever is eating you, if it's an animal or something like that, it represent, especially animals, as I mentioned in other videos, animals represent our emotions, our raw emotions. So whatever animal you see, it's you interpret it in a way, what does this animal represent for you? So what attacked me in the dream was a shark. And for me, sharks are ruthless, horrifying animals. Thanks for the Jaws, I guess. And the Deep Blue Sea movie, guilty. I hate sharks, even though I know I'm not gonna meet one in the traffic light. I had more people bothering me than sharks, but at the end of the day, it's associated in my mind with a really ruthless predator that attacks like without mercy and without signs or anything like that. It comes to you from wherever you can't protect yourself. Actually, I didn't see the shark. I only assumed because I was swimming. So now we go to step 2, is that I'm in a water, and water usually represent our emotions in general, the state of our overall emotion. And if the water is calm, that means the emotions are really happy. But a water that has a shark in it, it's not really a calm water. It might seem calm. It was a swimming pool, for God's sakes. I don't know where the shark came from. But I assumed that I got attacked and eaten in the water, that it's a shark. Again, this whole dream, because it plays on metaphors and assumptions, it's actually talking about things in my character and things that's going on with my life. So dreaming of the shark represent a certain emotion that I find it to be really difficult to handle, and I find it so ruthless and I'm unable to deal with it. And it's usually my anger. Being in pain represent how much this feeling makes you feel, and how your subconscious is really unable to deal with it. Your subconscious is warning you through pain, because people actually tend to change when they are in pain. They tend to act and they tend to do something. So it's actually sending me a strong message with the pain. Another thing is, and also if you dreamt about being in pain and you are suffering in your real life from health issues, that might as well be about your health issues and not only about your emotions. But if you don't have health issues, then it's really about emotions and about you being in your waking life feeling kind of a bit unsettled. About being eaten alive, it represents a transformation, kind of, because when you are getting chewed, you will physically change, of course, but you feel as well that you are somewhat helpless, and somewhat you are afraid, and somewhat, so it's kind of, this emotion is really having control over you. So it represents that this emotion is transforming you, whether to the good or to the bad. Maybe you are saying, oh, I'm an angry person, I should change and become a calmer person, or I need to handle my problem differently. Of course, for me, anger is important, and I respect my anger a lot, because I'm not a person who gets angry over whatever. But I tend to deal poorly with things that make me angry. So I don't deal with a lot of confrontation, and that I need to change how I deal with things, so my anger is channeled in a way that it's more healthier for me and not hurtful for my surroundings, you know. So in this dream there are 3 elements, which is water, animal, and whatever it's happening for you. I remember for each one of these I made a video, for seeing an animal, for being in the water, and now for being eaten alive. So if you face that one dream that have several elements, you can just bring this interpretation, and this one, and put them all together in a puzzle, and then see how they fit in your life. So I guess each one of these things actually represents something different for you, especially if it's an animal or a person. So if you saw an animal or a person in your dream, it's important always to look what does they represent for you. even with water, like even water represent emotions, we actually tend to see water as something really changeable, flexible. So it's the same as our emotions, something we can't see, but it's different all the time, keep changing all the time, depends on the situation, depends on the person. But again, what does water represent for you in general? But mostly what's different for each one of us, like in general, we all think and view things in a bit, not much in a different way, you know. Sometimes when you say water, people tend to have similar explanation and similar description about what they feel about water. But when it comes to animals, some people love sharks and find them enticing and swim with them. I don't understand you people. But for the majority of people, they find them frightening. So when it's a person or something, just write how do you feel about them, and if they are attacking you or eating you, that means that a certain aspect that you feel that it's eating within you, certain aspect you fear, or certain aspect maybe you like. If you got maybe swallowed by Dumbo or something, you might think like, oh, it's cool to be in Dumbo's stomach. the flying elephant, you never know. So that was my explanation and the dream interpretation, and sweet dreams.